What up, yogis? My name's Daniel Cumming. Welcome to your flow. So this class is going to be number 2 in the Ardha Chandrasana progression series. So if you haven't watched the first one, it might give you some extra tips in getting your body ready for the pose. But this one will still be a fairly medium-based class. As I mentioned in the last class, you might need a prop like a block. So either if you can get one from your local store or if you've already got one. Otherwise, anything that can be quite stable that you can maybe put a hand on just to allow you to get a little bit of extra balance and reach. You might not need it if you've got long arms, but it can definitely help. So if you've got one of those, grab it now before we start. So we'll start in a child's pose position. So your knees can be close together or far apart. And what I want you to do is spread the fingertips and the hands, reaching forward, and then just relax the elbows and the forearms down. The elbows can be quite close together, and you can just draw the hips lightly back towards the heels and just start to sway side to side a little bit. So letting the head and neck relax. So actually letting the head kind of drape in between the arms a little bit, soften through the face and the jaw, and just starting to move a little bit. So rocking the shoulders from side to side, swaying the hips gently from side to side, and drawing that lower belly in a little bit. So we draw the hips back towards the heels. Good, and then you can just release and relax the belly a little bit and stop the motion as you begin to breathe. So as you inhale, expand the belly down and out, filling full of air like a balloon. In through the nostrils and out through the nostrils, lightly draw the belly button in towards the spine. One more of these breaths. So inhale, expand the belly. And then exhale, surrender the whole body into the ground a little bit more. Good. We'll come up to an all fours position, wrists stacked beneath the shoulders, knees stacked beneath the hips. And then we'll come all the way down to our belly. So tucking the chin, looking in between the hands, press into the fingertips, bending the elbows slowly as you can. If your arms wobble or shake a little bit, that's fine. It's activating little muscles. And then shuffle the hips and feet back, tops of the feet to the ground. What I want you to do is reach out both hands as far forward as you can and press into the fingertips. So I'm not sure if this is going off the screen, but my fingertips are actually pressing down like piano keys. Tuck in the chin and looking down in front of you. I want you to press the feet into the ground. Raise the right hand and the left foot. Raise the right hand and the left foot off the ground. And not just raising them up, but reaching them long. So I want you to imagine that you're reaching with something with your right hand in front of you and pressing something with the left foot behind you. But strong pressing down into the opposite hand. So the left hand is on the ground, the left set of fingertips is on the ground, and right foot, so the top of the right foot is on the ground. One more breath in, and then we swap sides. So hand down, foot down. This time we raise the left hand up, right foot up. Left hand up, right foot up. So the right hand fingertips is pressing down like this into the fingertips, into the ground, I mean. Good, tucking the chin, not looking too far ahead of you. We want long through the back of the neck, long through the left hand reach, and then right foot pressing back, maybe a little grin. One more breath in, and then releasing. Framing the chest with the hands, drawing the elbows in but not squeezing them in. Pour the weight into the hips and gently lift the chest. So we pour the weight backwards like a seesaw, lifting up the chest. And then we'll exhale, lower it down. Let's do that one more time. Adjust the hands in a different place if you need it. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale back to an all fours position. So wrists below the shoulders, knees beneath the hips again. And then just rock back to a child's pose, but this time tucking the toes. So we press through the hands, rock back to child's pose. Good, let's inhale, lift the chest, lift the hips, belly softens and drops, press through the fingertips, exhale back to a child's pose position. So pressing strong through the fingertips and the hands. Good, let's do that one more time. Inhale, lifting up, arch through the back, open up through the chest, and then exhale, pressing back. Good, coming to an all fours position, walking the hands back towards the legs. Take your right foot forward and then the left knee back. Right foot forward, left knee back. Inhale, both arms up. Good, and then holding here. So relax through the shoulders, open up through the palms, draw the hips forward a little bit. Right hand to the right thigh, left hand reaches up and over the body. If you need extra padding for the left knee, you can grab a pillow. You can pause this video, grab whatever you need for the knee. But the more you draw forward, the more it should take pressure off the knee a little bit. 2 more breaths here. So we're not just kind of hanging out on the thigh, we're actively pressing down and lifting up the chest. So very rarely, unless we're doing a very yin pose, we're never just kind of relaxed and hanging out. We're always active. And there's differences, believe it or not. Good. Last breath in, and then slowly, gently release. Bringing the hands back underneath the body. Just take a few little circles just to wash that out. So lean to the left, to the back, to the right, to the front. Loosening off the shoulders and the neck as you do. And then the other way. Good, let's all the way down to our belly, tucking the chin, pressing into the fingertips, slowly down. And then when the whole body's on the ground, adjust the hands if you need to, cobra. So inhale, lift the chest, pull the weight back. Squeeze the glutes a little bit at the top if you want. And then exhale down. Do that one more time. Inhale, pull the weight back, roll up, using the back muscles, and then back to your child's pose position. So this is a softer one, just for 2 breaths. You can sway side to side, loosening up through the shoulders, rolling the wrists if you need to. Opening up the jaw if you want, taking a bit of a yawn. And then finding your way back to all fours. Walking the hands back to the body, left foot forward this time. So right knee back, left foot forward, low lunge. Find that stable position. Inhale, lift up both arms. And then left hand, left thigh, right arm lifts up and over the body, drawing the hips forward. Soften through the right shoulder. Nice big breaths. One more breath in. And then you can gently release the hand down, left knee back. And just take a few of these little circles again. So lean to the left, to the back, to the right, loosening up through the body. And the trickiest part can be to let the head, neck, and shoulders release and relax a little bit as well. So see if you can do that. Think of a bobblehead. And then just reverse that rotation. Nice and soft, loose. Come down to our belly again. So tucking the chin, looking in between the hands, all the way down, but this time we'll stay on the ground for a moment and set ourselves up for locust. So shuffle the hips and feet back. Roll the shoulders up, back and around. Draw the hands beside your body. Imagine those basketballs in your hands. As you press down, lift up, top of the head forward, feet back. Good, shoulder blades draw towards each other. Good. If you'd like, you can take the back of the hands, so see the back of the hand, and just place it lightly into the lower back, and just press lightly into the lower back as we lift the chest a little bit more. It's completely up to you, but we just press very lightly with the back of the fingers or even the back of the hands into the lower back. We extend up to the top of the head, feet back. Good, that'll open up the chest and the heart a little bit more, and will come in handy with later poses to do with Ardha Chandrasana, with this kind of work towards a bind. And then release. Gently roll out the wrists if you need to. Frame the chest. Inhale, cobra. Pull the weight back. Exhale, child's pose. And just very gently soften in. So at any time, because we do come down to the wrists, if while we're in child pose you want to roll out the wrists, you can interlace the fingers and just make little figure eights, like you're drawing little figure eight shapes. Yeah, like that. About 2 more breaths. Let's make our way to our first downward dog. So walk the hands forward, lift the chest, tuck the toes, and lift the knees off the ground as you look towards your feet. Let the head hang in between the arms and just soften through the shoulders. So see how a lot of the time we're up here, hunching the shoulders. We want to kind of drop the elbows and drop into the pinky fingers so it kind of goes and just relaxes. But all that weight drops into the hands. So we don't release the tension, we just move the tension down into where we need it. It doesn't need to be up around the ears. It's better off down in the hands, in the fingertips. And then pour some weight back into the heels and to the toes. Good. Open up the mouth for 2 breaths. Just let it all go. That's it. Good. So we'll bring the feet a little bit closer together. Let's inhale our right foot up in behind the body, nice and long. And then bringing the right foot and right knee underneath the body, right foot in between the hands. What I want you to do is roll the left heel down and keep the right set of toes facing forward. So the left heel rotates down, and then we lift up left arm back, right arm forward. Yeah, so right arm reaching forward, but not too far forward. Left arm reaching back, but not too far back. Somewhere in between, so the chest is stacked above the hips. And then don't let the shoulders come up here, just like downward dog. See if you can relax them a little bit. This is our warrior 2 position. So I like to imagine, if you see it from the front, that my back set of toes is slightly facing forward. So you don't want them too much on a 90-degree angle and don't want them facing back. You want them slightly turning forward. Yeah? That'll protect the hip a little bit. Good. And just finding some stability here. I want you to inhale, lift the arms in a little bit, and then as you exhale, so I'm going to turn so you can see, we drop the arms and then inhale them up through center. We inhale them up above the head and then exhale them out in front and behind. We exhale, drop, inhale, lift up. So I want you to imagine that you're drawing water up through a straw. So the way you draw your feet in towards each other, it's almost like you're squeezing the mat towards the center. So we squeeze in the center of the body. We draw up through the lower belly button. We lift up, and then we kind of expand and loosen off out. Good. One more time. Exhale. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, expand out. Good. Just holding the position here for 2 more breaths. Nice work. And then taking that back hand up, rotating on that back set of toes. The heel comes off, so you're almost in a runner's lunge position. Hands come down, and then step the front foot back for a downward dog position. Head hanging in between the arms. Inhale up and forward to a high plank position. So long through the body, looking underneath the body towards the toes. If this is too much, you can drop to your knees and do this. So we're going to take some body rolls. So we inhale up and forward, exhale down and back. This is the all fours version. We inhale up and forward, exhale down and back. In downward dog, we inhale up and forward to a high plank, exhale down and back, pressing through the hands. So it's this locomotion type movement, this strong but gentle movement roll. So it's working all the shoulder girdle, the hips, the core, and getting this efficient but strong movement to strengthen the whole body. Good. You can lower to your knees. Let's take 6 seconds all the way down to the floor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Setting yourself up. Cobra. Inhale, lift the chest. Good. Exhale back to a child's pose. So draw the hips back. And then just sinking back towards the heels. Just for 2 or 3 breaths. This is your resting pose. If you want to come back into downward dog early, you can do that now. Otherwise, meeting there in the next 2 breaths. So lifting the chest, tucking the toes, pressing through the hands, and then opening up through the shoulders. And you can have a little pedal out with the feet, pressing one heel down as you press into the opposite hand. You can even stretch one leg out at a time if you want. It might feel good, especially if it's early in the morning, might get a few cracks. Good, and when you're ready, maybe feet a little bit closer together. Inhale the left foot up and back and behind, tucking the left knee underneath the body. Left foot forward in between the hands. Rotate the right heel down. Right arm back, left arm forward. Right arm back, left arm forward. So as you can see, my back set of toes is slightly turned in. So not too much that it feels uncomfortable in the ankle. But just so as I press into the right heel, I feel like I gain power pressing forward. And then I use that power to draw everything on, in, and up. Inhale and expanding out. Good. 3 more of these. Inhale, drawing up through center. And then expanding out. So this way I'm exploring all avenues of the posture. So we have that internal drawing in, contraction. But then I have the external pressing out. So there's always that contraction and expansion with each pose. Good, softening through the shoulders. So not too far forward, not too back. The Goldilocks principle, right in the middle, just right. Good, one more breath in. And then we take that back hand up and over, pivoting on the toes. See, my back heel is off now, both hands down. And then stepping that left foot back to downward dog. And just letting that head hang. You can roll the hips side to side a little bit if you want. And let's go back through those body rolls. So inhale up and forward, high plank. Exhale back, downward dog. Remember, you can do this on the knees if you get a little bit tired. It's good to challenge yourself. It's also good to know just where you're at the moment. And you'll reach a limit of, challenging your strength and your ability where it's going to come detrimental. And you're better off just going down to the level before it to get the benefits from it. So just learning to know yourself. Learning to challenge, but not push too far. Good. Let's come down to the knees. And we can do some stuff that we did similarly to the last class. So we have our left hand down. So we're on our knees in Virabhadrasana. Left hand down. Right foot out to the right. And then right arm lifts straight up this time. We lift the right foot. And I want you to bend the right knee and press away. Good. So we're holding here. Coming up into the fingertips of the left hand. And then just taking a few little circles with that right foot. Won't make you do many of them. Just 2 or 3 forward. And then just 2 or 3 back. Good. So this feeling of pressing the right foot away is what we need for Ardha Chandrasana. So bring that right knee in, swap for the left. So right hand down, left foot out to the left. Left arm straight up. So feeling the side ribs lifting. Good, lift that left foot. And then bend the left knee and just press away. It's almost like a side karate kick. But see, my toes are curled away, but I'm actually pressing the foot. So it's in between that point and a flex. Yeah? So it's active. And then my thigh is facing directly forward. Good. Couple of circles forward. You can bend the knee if you need to. And a couple of circles back. Oh yeah. Good. Bring everything back to center. And let's come back through a downward dog position. So lifting, pressing through. And then what I'll get you to do is, if you do have a block or some sort of prop that you can use, I'll just get you to place it at the front of the mat. So front of the mat on its highest position, in the middle. Good. So inhale the right foot up and back in behind the body, and then gently bring the right foot forward in between the hands, and then left foot back. Good. So I'll switch around so you can see me. Good, and then what we're going to do is just come through some side angle flow. So we'll inhale, reverse the warrior. So right arm up, left arm traces back, and we reach that right hand to the ceiling. Good, keeping that right knee bent. Then as you exhale, take the right elbow to the right thigh, and then the left arm reaches up and over the body. Good, so we want pressing down through that left heel, and feel that extension all the way up the side of the body so that left arm reaches. If your left arm gets tired, you can lift it up, or you can even just place it gently behind the lower back like this. So you just kind of rest it pressing into the lower back. Just like before, as I mentioned, we're not just hanging out here relaxed, we're actively pressing down, and see how my whole body lifts up when I press down my right elbow into the right thigh. That's what we need, then we can get that extension, because otherwise, if I'm hanging out here, as soon as I move my arm, the whole thing kind of collapses. We want to be strong, plus we don't want to sink into that hip crease too much. Good, 2 more breaths. And then we'll gently release. So bring that left hand back, think of it like an anchor, straighten that front leg, press through, a little bend in that right knee, and then we inhale, reach that right hand up. Stay here for 2 breaths. Good. Then we'll come back down to a warrior 2 position. And I just want you to notice where your block is. See if you can reach it. So maybe shuffle forward a little bit. You might not need a block for Ardha Chandrasana, but we're just going to practice with this first. So what I want you to do is just kind of lean forward and back a little bit. So we lean back with the left hand, lean forward with the right hand. Almost looks like you're surfing. It may seem silly, but it's actually just transferring weight. So what I want you to do is just transfer a bit of weight into the right foot, lift the left foot off. If you're not used to doing balancing, this might be a lot for you. And then just lean back. Lean to the right foot, lift the left foot off, and just point the toes towards the side of the mat. And then back down. Good. So we lean forward, lift, and then back down. And then I just want you to reach for the block or wherever you're going to put your hand. So do the same thing. So this is just practicing. So we lean for the block of the right hand, and then you touch it, and then you might just land straight away. Do that 2 more times. So we kind of lean back, move forward, and you might go too far forward. But that's all part of it as well. It's just learning how to distribute your weight and your balance. One more, leaning back, and then lift that left foot as high as you can. And if you fall out, part of this is just learning how to fall out safely. So it's just trusting that no matter what happens, you can fall out safely, and that'll allow you to explore the space a lot more. So that's often quite a big part of it, just being afraid of what will happen if we fail it, right? Let's inhale, reverse, and then come all the way down to a downward dog. So we spiral that left hand up, take off the left heel, and then both hands all the way down. Step the right foot back, so you're in a downward dog position again. And let's inhale forward to a high plank position, looking underneath the body towards the toes. Option to lower the knees down or lower the whole body down to the floor. Let's take 6 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just watch out if you have a block at the front of the mat. And let's take a cobra. Inhale, lifting the chest, drawing back. And then back to your child's pose position for a couple of breaths. And then back to downward dog when you're ready. No rush. I'm usually staying a little bit ahead of you, so you know where you're going next. Just relax the shoulders. So just explore downward dog a little bit while you're here. So you can stretch a leg at a time. You can sway your hips from side to side, do a little boogie. Whatever feels good for you. I'm just going to readjust so I'm facing this way. Cool, so just set up your block wherever it needs to be. So when I say what it needs to be, highest setting or whatever you've got. You might have a couple of cans of beans or something there. Just something stable that you can put your hand on. Otherwise, you might not need to. Let's go left foot up to the sky, in behind. Tucking that left knee underneath the body. Left foot forward, right heel down. Right arm back, left arm forward. Good. And just soften through everything. Wiggle the fingertips if you need to. You can always, when you come into the pose, do one of these if you want. Don't necessarily need to, but I love adding it towards the practice. I call them fountain because we inhale up and expand up and out like a fountain. You probably see them in a lot of classes that I teach, especially with Virabhadrasana 2. This is Warrior 2, aka Virabhadrasana 2 or Vira 2. So let's inhale, reverse the warrior, left arm up, right arm back. And just hold here for a breath, bending that left knee. Pressing through the feet, lifting up and over, left elbow down, and then right hand up and over the body. Good. So remembering all those little things that I mentioned. So left elbow pressing down, opening up the side body and the ribs. That right hand can be up and over, like energy shooting from that right blade of the foot all the way up. That was lightning bolts coming out of my fingertips in case you didn't know what the sound effect was. And then you can drop it in behind if it's a little bit much to keep it above. 2 more breaths here though. Good. When you're ready, use that right hand as an anchor, reaching back, straighten that front leg, a little bit of a bend in it, and then we reach that left hand up, right arm back. 2 breaths here. Good. Come back to a Warrior 2 position, and let's just experiment with our balance. So just lean forward and back. Your stance might even be a little bit long. If you feel like you can't get that launch, you can shorten the stance a little bit. It's just practicing getting aim as well. So we lean back, we aim forward, and then right foot lifts, and then we can touch that block or the ground or whatever our prop is there. So we just lean back, we lift up. Now, one thing I want you to get in the habit of is safety-wise, it feels safer for us to face the ground, right? Because we can see where the ground is. The tricky part and the scary part can be turning the chest to face the side, but that's what we need to do for this pose. Otherwise, it actually constricts the hip, and it's not going to feel good for us in the long run. Plus, it doesn't get the full expression of the pose. So what I want you to do is almost face the side of the room, lean, and have the chest facing. See how it's facing the side of the mat, not facing down. And then we reach down with the bottom hand, so the left hand right now, and then we lift up. That's all I want you to do. Yeah, just go one more of them. So avoid facing the chest down, lift and open up, and then, and even if you, fall backwards like this, that's fine. So you like the main thing that people are scared of is falling backwards in behind, but you can kind of get a little bit of a movement and spin out of it. But yeah, even practicing that alone, if you're very new to balances, especially Ardha Chandrasana, practicing falling out, practicing failing at it can be one of your biggest benefits. So don't be afraid to fail. That's how you're going to get better. Good. We'll inhale, reverse, and then spiral both hands up and over, stepping that front foot back, downward dog. Let's go high plank again. So inhale, up and forward to a high plank. And then let's go 7 or 8, let's go 8 seconds down. Good. Lower to the knees if you need to. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Cobra. Inhale, lifting up. Let's hold Cobra for a couple of breaths this time. If your arms shake on the way down, it's not a bad thing. It's not, you're not doing it incorrectly, and no, you're not strong enough, not strong enough. It's just you're probably activating little muscles that you're not used to using. You don't often have to hold yourself up like that. We're not used to it. So it's activating all little synergistic muscles. So finding your way back to a child's pose, and then Virabhadrasana if you want, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So we have big muscles, what we call prime movers, and they're the ones that we usually move for everything. But when we have to hold something, all these little supporter muscles actually start getting active. So that's the thing that we're using a lot of the time that we end up shaking, because little muscles are like, oh, I'm not used to activating, I don't know what to do, everyone quick, get in action. So everyone's kind of, all the little muscles are kind of activating. But that's why it's good, because if we don't activate them a lot of the time, that's when, you might move in a certain way and pull something because your bigger muscles are so powerful because they're getting worked all the time, but the little ones don't know how to support them. So the little ones are the ones that kind of get hurt most of the time when something happens. So it's good. Shakes are good. It means it's working. Cool. So let's move back into downward dog, and we'll just do one more on each side. You will need your block, so make sure that's still handy. And then we'll inhale the right foot up and back in behind again, and then right foot through for warrior 2. I'm going to switch around this way again. So right foot forward, left foot back. Right arm forward, left arm back. Let's do 2 fountains. So exhale, drop the arms. Inhale, drawing up through a straw, all the way up, and then expand out. One more time, drop the arms. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, expand out. Good. Let's go inhale, reverse. And let's go for a full Ardha Chandrasana. It doesn't have to be perfect, probably never will be. We reach our right hand down towards the block or the floor. We lift our left hand up, left foot presses back like a side kick. Okay, you can fall in and out as many times as you want. But we have that left hand reaching for the ceiling, chest facing the side of the mat, right foot pressing down, right hand pressing down to the floor of the block, and then the left corner of the mouth going for a little bit of a grin, or maybe the whole mouth. Good, just one more breath. You got it. All the wobbles, and then slowly finding your way back. Good. Take the pressure off, straighten the front leg, reverse your warrior. We're nearly done. Good. Let's take a gentle triangle. So triangle might not be gentle for you, but we lift up and over. So what I want you to do is draw up through that center, keep the front leg straight. We take the right hand below the right knee, so to the right shin, or you can take a block. And then we want the left hand up. We want pressing down through that right foot and extending up through the side ribs. that left hand can stay up or it can drop in behind the lower back. And if it's in the lower back, press it lightly into the lower back. So I'll move so you can see. So if it presses here, you press, and that'll actually extend and protect the lower back and lift the chest a little bit. So I really like that variation, but depending on your shoulders, it might not feel good for you. Just go 2 or 3 more breaths here. I won't stay here for too long, but this will give you a really good stretch and strengthen at the same time. Breathing through. Good, last breath in. Release the hand if it's in behind, lean back, bend the front knee, reverse, and then spiral both hands up and over to meet that front foot. Step the front foot back. 2 options, you can take a rest in child's pose for the next 5 or so breaths if you want. Otherwise, if you want to keep strengthening those planks, you can lift up. You can either go high plank to downward dog, this flow here. Otherwise, you can follow me all the way down. Let's go 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Good, cobra. Just 1 breath. Slow it down if you find yourself rushing. Back to a child's pose first, and then downward dog after. Feel free to move a little bit in between. Roll your wrists if you need to. Open your jaw and yawn if you need to. Not far off Savasana now. Last standing flow. When you're ready, downward dog. Let's go. Inhale, left foot up and back. Exhale, left foot forward, warrior 2. So rotate that right heel down. Set up your block as you need to. Right arm back, left arm forward. And when I say the block, just to show you as well, just before we go into it, I should have shown you earlier, but you don't necessarily need the block. So I could go Ardha Chandrasana, my left hand to the ground and lifting up. And it feels fine, but for me it feels better. My arm to leg ratio is, my arms are slightly shorter in ratio to my legs. So you might not have that, but so it feels better for me to have the block. Plus for starting out, I think it definitely helps having the block, but to each their own as well. So you might prefer the block, prefer not to have the block even when you're starting out. So see how you go, but I like the block. Good, let's go 2 fountains. Exhale, drop the arms. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, drop the arms. Exhale, lifting up. Good. Inhale, reverse, left arm up, right arm back. Setting your sights on that block or the floor, wherever your hand goes. Bend the left knee. Shoot for that target. So left foot down, left hand down. Right arm up, right foot back. Good. And just finding that balanced position and opening up the chest. So fight the urge to roll the chest and the hips down to the ground. I know that feels safer, but it's not what we're doing with this pose. That's more of a warrior 1 position. Good. Slowing down your breath if you've got the balance. Opening up that smile, maybe on the right cheek side at this time. And then when you're ready, you can ninja that right foot back and landing. Good. Reverse, straighten the front leg. Inhale, left arm up, right arm back. Trikonasana, so triangle pose. So we keep that front leg straight with a little bend in the knee, lift up and over, left hand to the block or the left shin, not the knee, right arm up. Go. Good, if you like the other side, you can drop that right hand in behind the lower back. Nice big breaths. One or 2 more breaths. And then very slowly you can release, unbind, inhale, reverse, and then spiral both of the arms all the way down, stepping the left foot back, downward dog. And then just take a little sway of the hips, whatever feels good for you. You can move the block out of the way if you have it still. We need it again. And let's move towards pigeon pose. So if this doesn't suit you, you can do the same thing on your back, which I'll give you a variation for, but we'll inhale the right foot up and back, and then tuck the right knee underneath the body. The right knee goes to the outside of the right wrist, and the left foot is back. See how my toes are pointing straight back? We don't want them sickled around. When I say sickle, I mean curled around too much. And we want the left knee in line with the left hip as much as possible. So right knee, I don't know if you can see from this angle, but the right knee is outside of the hip. So we don't want it here because then we go clonk, straight onto the hip. So we want it out here. So we inhale, lift up the chest, and then exhale, surrender and soften in. And just relax down, elbows, forearms down. You can move a little bit for the first few breaths and then relax. If this doesn't suit you, if it doesn't feel good, you can come onto your back instead. Have your right ankle to your right thigh, arms thread underneath the left knee, and head on the ground, or head on a pillow if you can't reach head on the ground. So if that suits you better, you can take that instead. So it would be right ankle to the thigh, and then in that position. Be here for about another 4 breaths. Nice, steady, slow breaths. Good. When you're ready, you can walk the hands back towards the body, lean to the right hip, and then bring the left foot in front. I want you to straighten the right leg. So straighten the right leg and flex the toes of the right foot towards you. Take the left foot and place it over the other side of the right leg. And then just lift up the chest a little bit. Good. So right foot leg straight, left leg up and over, and press into the big toe of the left foot. Inhale that right arm up. And then as you exhale, just coil that right arm around, look over your left shoulder. But don't go too hard into the stretch. The left hand is just resting lightly in behind the left hip or the lower back. Just gently supporting you. So we're not twisting 100% of what we can, maybe 60, 70% max. Nice big belly breaths. Good. Last breath in, and then gently release. We'll swap sides. So straighten the left foot this time, lift the right knee, and then take the right foot to the other side. So flexing the left foot, left leg straight, right foot is up and over that left thigh, and big toe of the right foot pressing down. Lifting up the chest, inhale the left arm up, exhale, coil that left arm around the right knee, and look gently over the right shoulder. Good. Right hand is quite close to the right hip, top of the head up. So we tuck the chin a little bit. We don't want the head up here like this. We kind of want it tucked a little bit. Feel free to smile at any time. If you've done either my classes online or in person, you'll notice I always randomly get you to smile. One, it is just for fun and it feels good. But also, if you smile as well, you'll notice that you can't really tense up a lot of your body. If you ever try to do a really intense pose or really squeeze everything in your body and you smile at the same time, it kind of doesn't work. So smiling is like a little cheat code or a little easy way to just relax whatever's in your body that doesn't need to be on as much as it is. So it's a good little cue to remember. One more breath in. And let's go pigeon pose the other side. So bending that left knee and the left foot, we sweep the right foot and right leg all the way around behind. So we have the left knee slightly outside the hip, left foot is flexed, we press down through the left foot, lift the chest, and then gently lowering down in. So remembering that you can come onto your back, so you would just have the left ankle on the right thigh on your back. So you roll onto your back, left ankle on your right thigh, threading the left arm in between the legs and right arm around and drawing it towards you, making sure that you have your head resting on the ground. Slowing down your breath, breathing more into the belly than the chest. Good, just slow breaths, about 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, walking the hands back towards the body, sweep that right leg around and we'll come onto our back. So one hand each knee, rolling onto your back, separate the knees and making little circles in opposite directions. So as you roll these little circles with the knees, let the shoulders roll and become part of that as well. Nice big shoulder rolls one way and then the other way. Good, straighten the right leg, bring the left knee in towards you and then towards that left armpit a little bit, pressing away with the right foot. So the right foot is on the ground. Just 2 breaths here. And then swapping, so left foot and left leg pressing away, right knee towards the chest and the armpit. And then placing both feet down to the edges of the mat, letting the knees fall into center. And then just gently windscreen wiping them. So very gently just swaying the hips from side to side. Loosening them off. There's not any right or wrong way to do it, just whatever feels good for the body. Good, and then you can finish off with Virabhadrasana, so soles of the feet together, knees open and apart and hips open. If this doesn't feel good for you, just rest in a bridge position here, just softly. So this is another option for you. Just rest here with the knees up. Otherwise, if it feels good to stretch the inside of the hips for a little bit before Savasana, you can do this. Just loosening up the hips, relaxing the shoulders. Nice big breaths in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils, expanding the belly as you breathe in. And just softening and relaxing the belly as you breathe out. Just 1 or 2 more breaths here. Good, and then you can stretch out both legs, make yourself comfortable for Savasana. Palms by your side, facing up, neck and head nice and long. You can wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Let's take 3 breaths together, in through the nose, out through the mouth, tensing up and then releasing. So a nice big breath in through the nose, squeezing the fists and the toes. Exhale, release. Good, 2 more. Nice big breath in, squeezing the arms and the legs and the glutes. Exhale out through the mouth, release. That's it, last one. Nice big breath in, holding, frowning the face, even clenching the jaw a little bit, tensing the whole body, grabbing onto what you don't want in your body, and letting it go. That's it. And just completely surrender into the floor. Just letting your whole body begin to soften and melt into the earth. Feeling every part of your body begin to soften and relax, from your toes, underneath your feet, back of the heels, back of the calves, behind the knees and thighs, all the way up the back of the hips, the lower back, up the upper back, over the shoulders, gently, softly moving up the back of the neck, up the back of the head, all the way to the top. And feeling the softness just trickling over the forehead and eyebrows, around the temples, down the front of the nose to the top lip, around the cheeks to the bottom lip, and the whole jaw softening and relaxing, noticing more space between the teeth and the tongue now. The throat soft, the shoulders melting down into the floor. You feel this soothing sensation wash down the arms towards the wrists, hands and fingertips. The same gentle sensation washing over the chest, ribs, belly, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, tops of the feet and toes. Till it just rests at the soles of the feet, just for a moment. And that's it. And feeling your whole body completely light and weightless now, like you can just float here in space and completely let go. There's nothing left you need to do. When you're ready, no rush, but very slowly you can just start to breathe more into the belly than the chest again. Expanding the belly as you breathe in, and just letting go of the belly as you breathe out. can begin to brush the thumbs over each fingertip. You can wiggle your toes. You can gently nod the head from side to side. And beginning to move however feels good for you, maybe rotating the wrists and ankles. When you're ready, you can take a nice big stretch up overhead with the arms, nice big breath in, a little grin. And then you can tuck in the knees and roll over to one side, knees tucked in. Head resting on the arm. And just take a moment here just to enjoy this feeling. Maybe give yourself a little thank you for taking this time out for you. And just slowly finding your way up into a seated position. And just remembering that, thinking about how we're feeling now as opposed to when we first started the class, this feeling's always available for us. And it's sometimes the times that we don't feel like doing yoga or doing things like this that we probably need to do it. So thank you for doing this for yourself and taking the class. Let's finish off with 3 breaths. Inhale both arms up. And exhale both hands down in front of the chest, brushing the thumbs over the forehead, nose and lips, and the backs of the hands against the thighs. And just noticing every little sensation. Just noticing how much more aware you are of every little sensation. The sounds that you can hear around you. And just how different you feel. We'll rest the palms in front of the chest, and to finish off, we'll take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth together. Taking our breath in together now. Nice work. Thanks for practicing with me, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.